Okay, let's see. Just checking if I'm live here. Hello, hello. There it is. Hello. Welcome to Sacred Calm Masterclass. I am so happy you're here. I just want to make sure all the logistics are working here. I always have to check. So I have my phone with me in case comments, so I can hopefully see comments. I'm so happy you guys are here. Oh my goodness. If you are tuning in, I want you to know that I believe it is not by accident. It is absolutely divine. Also, I believe in divine timing, and note that I'm coming on a little bit late, so hopefully, you know what, I just believe in divine, to believe this is the exact moment it is meant to be. And when people come into my life, I believe that they are meant to teach me something and I am meant to teach them something. So I hope we're both teaching each other something today. Just like you are there for your child. You're there for your child, and you're the leader. You're the parent. And you're there to teach your child something. But your child is also here to teach you something. I believe in the divine, in God, our creator, whatever it means, whatever that means to you, whatever you choose to call God. I call God God. Whatever you choose to call God, our creator. I believe that you are here to break a cycle, and your child is here to break a cycle, and your child is here to help you in your soul purpose. Your child chose you. You chose your child. Before your child was born, your child chose you. And that can be a lot to wrap your head around if you've never heard that before. So just be open with it. Just be open to think about that could be true and what are the possibilities. So today I want you to open your mindset to our Sacred Calm Masterclass. Open your heart. Open your heart chakra. Open your mindset, and be willing to dive into things that you may have not heard before. Maybe you only tapped into a little bit. But I want to teach you some things. Specifically, this class is around how somatic healing helps parents who have strong-willed kids or kids with ADHD, kids that may be sensitive, different needs. They're here to teach you something, and how somatic healing can help you. It can help you with your children. It can help you with a bigger purpose in life. It can help you to help your children with a bigger purpose in life. ADHD symptoms do not have to rule your family. Behavior problems do not need to rule your family. You get to learn how somatic healing, if you've never heard of it before, just be open to it. Learn how this can heal your nervous system and transform your child's behavior emotionally, spiritually, somatically, and your own, because it starts with us. And so just a quick, if you end up watching live, #live. If you end up watching replay, #replay. I go back and read comments, and I would love for you to comment and let me know. Give energy back. to me, because then I can know where you're at, how you're feeling, and I tap into your energy. Because I have spiritual gifts that I started to share with all of you in one of my lives before this class started a few days ago, as I was developing this class, as it was being downloaded to me. And these gifts are things that I suppressed as a child. And that's what ends up happening. Our kids, your child likely has a gift and they're suppressing it. And when suppression happens, when we suppress our gifts, and when you're suppressing your own unique gifts, and you started doing that when you were a child and you're doing it now as an adult, we end up having symptoms that may look like I cannot focus. So your child might think, I cannot focus. I'm going to throw a huge fit. I'm not being seen. I am going to melt the F down. You might be thinking, I am not being heard. My child is not listening. Before we go like really into it, I want you to comment and tell me if your child has ever responded with your request that you thought was being, calm and or cheery or grounded, and you're like, hey, I want you to do this. I have this request for you, and you think that you're doing a great job, and then your child responds with, no. Drop it in the comments if you've heard no. I hope that you're going to comment because everyone's heard no. Or, I'm not going to do that, or I don't want to. Why do I have to do that? You can't make me do that. Or maybe just tears or anger. Your child shows up with anger at you. Maybe your child slams the door, runs away. Drop it in the comments if you have felt this, and then in that moment, how did you feel? I want you to tap into your memory of that moment, one of the moments that trigger you the most. What was that moment that triggered, just the last moment, don't overthink it. What was that last moment that triggered you the most? When you simply just asked your child to do something, and what happened, and it was very triggering. They ignore you? Did they completely ignore you? Did they act like they couldn't even hear you? Put it in the comments. I do go back and read comments, by the way. Did they scream? Did they yell? Did they refuse? Did they whine? Did they ask why? What was the moment that triggered you the most? What just gets under your skin? Did they argue? So what was it? Tap into that moment. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Think about how that moment made you feel. Feel the moment. Feel into your body. Do a quick body scan from the top of your head, your face, neck, chest, belly, hips, your womb if you're a female, your legs, your feet, your toes and out your toes. Where in your body does it feel when you think of that moment? That conflict with your child that triggered you? Where in your body does it feel restricted or tight or painful or uneasy? Where does it feel that? Do you feel it in your heart? Do you feel it in your throat? Do you feel it in your belly? Is there any restriction? Put it in the comments. You see, we hold this in our space, in our body, in our physical being. But these memories are made of energy. They're holding an energetic frequency, and our body remembers. If you've ever read the book, one book you might love to read is The Body Keeps the Score. Your body remembers even when your mind does not. And if you tap into that last conflict, where does it feel restricted? This is the somatic work that I'm talking about. It's not weird and woo-woo or crazy. This is science-backed evidence that we feel it in our body when there's a conflict. And you hold it in your body. And when you hold it in your body, when you hold these feelings in your body, so maybe you've got restriction in your heart. Oh, I can see comments now. Thank you for commenting, because I just saw them right now. So all of the above. Oh, hi, Johanna or Johanna. I'm not sure how you say your name, but let me know. Thanks for commenting. So just to get back to the comments, my daughter, so Johanna said, my daughter ran away from me in public because she didn't want to stay with our family during our outing. Yeah, wow. So how did that feel? And you feel it in your chest, you say. So thanks, Johanna, for Johanna or Johanna. I want to be able to say your name right, so let me know how you say it. But Joanna. Okay, did I say it right now? Thank you so much. I really try to say people's names right. I really try to get to know people on a deep level, and your name is where we start. But you felt it in your heart, and so I was really in your chest. I mean, so maybe your heart, your chest, that area. And it's so common, and I would feel that same feeling in my heart, in my chest, like I couldn't breathe. How did it make you feel? Like, the more you comment, the more I can support. Yes, of course, yeah. So that must have been a very scary moment, you know, and when I say scary, in the moment you might not feel scared. It might come up with a different feeling. You might feel scared in the moment. You might, what's usually comes up first is anger, frustration. You know, when your daughter's running away from you in public because she didn't want to stay with your family, did that make you feel humiliated? Embarrassed? And underneath of that, when we feel it in our heart, when we feel it in our body, when we feel it in our soul, we're really feeling it in our soul. We're feeling it in our spirit. And what happens is this drowns our energetic frequency. We hold the energetic frequency of this pain, this tightness. Hi, Michelle. And I know you want to raise your children as conscious or spiritual or faith guided, you know, whatever that means in your, you know, own family, whatever this means to you, with intention, with emotional safety. But when your children do these things that you feel out of control, and we end up with these this feeling of I cannot control this situation. We feel out of control. This actually ends up giving us a belief system inside of ourselves about ourself, a belief about us. We make it mean something about us. Like, what did it mean? What did it mean for you, Joanna, that your daughter left and ran away from the family? Didn't want to stay. What does that really mean about you then? So thinking about that, what did that mean about you? So this is somatic. This is a quick somatic experience for a moment. There's a lot more, but like just for that moment, dropping into your body, understanding and uncovering that this really felt, how this felt in yourself, in your soul, in your body, in your heart. And it's creating an identity. What is it about your identity? About what did it mean to you? Did it mean that you're actually, you said I felt frustrated at first because she wasn't listening to our instructions. Then I felt scared of losing her because we were in a busy public place. Yeah, scary. And then trying hard not to make a scene with getting control back or getting control of my daughter. And then she had a verbal autistic situation that was loud. And tell me more. Thank you so much for sharing that and participating. You're going to get so much out of this because of your participation. And if you're watching live or on the replay, hashtag live and hashtag replay, and be like Joanna, who's really diving in and commenting and giving an energetic exchange. I'm telling you the difference between watching like Netflix. I mean, I do that sometimes. I watch people like Netflix, or I be the creepy neighbor, like Alina Grayson, one of my mentors that I've hired. I've been in her programs. She always says, don't be like the creepy neighbor and just watch me and like don't say hi or anything. And I thought it was so funny when she says that, and so I try to comment when I'm actually watching her stuff because I want to be able to give engagement, and I get so much more out of it. So I'm telling you this because I know. Don't be the creepy neighbor that just watches and doesn't say hello. At least say hi and say you're here. And so I really want to tap back into this, but underneath of that, when you think about your daughter's running away from you in that situation, what does that mean about you? Maybe did it mean I don't have control? That's a scary thought, right? What does it really mean when your daughter's running away? Think about how that's a form of what? Rejection. She's rejecting you. And I want you to then think about a time in your life when you were a kid and you were rejected. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, think of a moment you were rejected as a child. The first moment that comes to you. When I was a kid, I was rejected. When I did this somatic experience work with mentors that I have had, I love Melissa May Dillon and I love Dr. Nima. I was inside their events. I was doing this work and I uncovered that, oh my goodness, I remembered this time, this rejection I had when I was around 10 years old, and I was so excited to go play with a friend on the swing set after school during our after school program. And this friend wasn't really a friend. I wanted to be her friend. And she finally said she wanted to go swing with me and play with me. So we went on the swing set. I was so excited because she didn't want to play with me. You know, before she'd always be playing with these other friends, and I was so jealous and envious, and I wanted to be the cool one and play with her. And so I was thrilled she asked me. So we got on those swings. We started flying high. We started swinging. I was over the moon excited. I'm making a new friend. I'm cool now. 10 years old. In my high, okay? In my high. And then, all of a sudden, around the corner comes this other girl. This other girl, we'll call her Laura, just for a name. Laura comes around the corner, and Laura is the one that she usually plays with. And we'll call her Rebecca. So I'm swinging with Rebecca. Here comes Laura. Laura's usually the one Rebecca plays with. And so I'm swinging. She comes. And then Rebecca turns to me as we're swinging. She starts slowing the swing down. And I'm going, okay. And she goes, okay, Meagan, you can go now. Laura's here. Oh my goodness. In that moment, I felt it in my heart, which is the exact same feeling I get, that rejection, that feeling in my heart. I'm being rejected right now. Wow. Same feeling I get when my son rejects me, says no to me. Same feeling. So I was in that moment, you can go now, Meagan. Okay, so the tears started welling up in my body, my system. My nervous system started flooding. I can still feel that in my bones, okay? And I'm an adult now, right? Shouldn't I be over that? I didn't think about that moment for a long time, but I uncovered this moment about myself. The moment when I started to feel like what that meant about me is, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to play with. I'm not lovable enough to play with, to want to be around, to want to hang out with. I'm 10 years old. Is that true about me? No, it was nothing to do with me, really. It was about her, and her, she didn't even know she was hurting me, but it hurt me. And so when I started doing this somatic work, I uncovered that, oh my goodness, one of my core rejection wounds is when I was rejected at that time, and I felt unloved. I was not loved. And then when something happens with your children, when something happens now with your kids, such as how Joanna shared, which I thank you for, about how her daughter ran away during a event, ran away during family, okay? So in that moment, I'm feeling in the moments when my son does something that is triggering that same wound, unconsciously, it's there. He's unconsciously triggering this core wound that I revealed during the event that I had. It feels the same as then. It's triggering the same wound comes up. And so the very first step is to uncover your core wounds that then still trigger you now. And when your children do something to you, that's not really to you, but it feels like that in the moment, when they do something, if you uncover the wound that creates for you, that feeling that creates for you, if you uncover it, you can then alchemize that trigger. You can then stop the trigger from happening because you're aware. And you can then, instead of reacting with fear and yelling, which is a lot of what this masterclass is about, is the yelling, because a lot of us here, if you're here, you are likely one of those parents that has felt that guilt like me because of the reaction of yelling. Like, you just yell. I used to yell and yell and yell. So I was able to stop that reaction, and I want to talk to you a little bit more about it, and I want to go into it more. But Joanna, you said you felt like you feel like you're not a good parent in that moment, or maybe now, or that others were judging you and how you parent. Yeah, totally get it. Makes sense. And so this is just the beginning, and this masterclass is just the beginning, where I want you to feel just a few things to understand the somatic processes, the somatic work. It is not, you're not going to heal all of these things in one class. I want you to understand that this is really an introduction class, and from there's more work to be done. But I hope that this class is going to help uncover a lot of things for you, and that it is uncovering. I hope that you're already seeing, like, oh, okay, where are you feeling rejected in that moment, possibly? And if your child is rejecting you in that moment, what does that mean about you? Does it mean that you are not lovable? Does it mean that you are not in control? Does it mean that your child really doesn't love you or want you? How does that feel? Are you not wanted? That's the wound that we're carrying. That if we can uncover this, we can stop reacting. And I know that if you're here, you are a conscious parent. You have this awareness. There's something deeper. And then maybe you just can't put your finger on it quite. I understand that you feel like you're failing. And at the same time, I'm holding you high. I see you in your power as a parent. I know you do the work. You are willing to go deeper if you are here. You know, you seek the help you need. You're an empowered parent. Maybe you've been into self-development for a while. Maybe some things have started helping, but you need something that is going to fill in the gap. The thing that's missing. You feel it in your soul. There's something more to this. There's something more to my kid's behavior. There's something more when I go to the doctor. It's not just ADHD and I need to pop a pill. It's not what you're here for. You want to go to that next layer of being happy as a parent. You want to go to that next layer of seeing your child's face light up in their happiness. You want them to be around you. You want them to want to be around you, not running away from your family. You want them to be healthy. When a doctor says your child has ADHD or ODD or this or that, that doesn't feel good. You want to accept your child. You don't want you know, these behaviors, an ADHD or sensitivity or extra needs, maybe there's anxiety, maybe your child has autism, any other challenge that you have, you don't want these things getting in the way of life. Instead, you want them to teach you something, and use them as a way to wake up in the world. Does this ring true to you? Tell me in the comments. Remember, even if you're watching on the replay, I know a lot of people message me they're going to watch replays. Some of you are live. I've seen people hop on and off, so I'm not sure who's live sometimes still, unless you comment, because I don't know. But does this ring true for you? You want to raise a conscious, maybe spiritually guided, faith-guided, heart-centered child, but you just feel stuck in that reactivity, the reaction, instead of leading because of your own nervous system. Does this ring true for you? You want to model the wisdom, success, peace, love. You want to model that, but you don't know how sometimes because you're stuck in cycles of control and frustration, reactivity. And I want you to know, if that is you, I see you. Literally, I see you, because I am you. I have been there. Trust me, it gets better, and we get to do the work on ourselves. But let's play with it. Let's make it not feel like work. Let's make it feel like play. Let's play with it. Let's play with these concepts. That's what I like better about, I like to say that more. It's like, let's play with these concepts. We don't need to feel like it's icky work. I mean, it does get messy. Joanna says, could her behavior stem from being a middle child where she feels like she's not getting enough attention, and so she feels rejected? Well, your child mirrors the healing work that you get to do on yourself. And that might not be the answer that you are looking for at this moment, but just trust me. So yes, sometimes something has to do with being a middle child. Sometimes something has to do with being an older child and a baby child. But really, that's just the environment we're given, and then what happens to us and for us in our wounds and our traumas and things that occurred because we had this certain situation. It leads to something else. But really, what I want you to think about is how, where are you maybe not giving her enough attention, if that is what is coming through for you? Because you know something. You're full of wisdom. Your body is full of wisdom. And if you feel like she feels rejected in that way, if you felt rejected, then you know it's connected. Your child is mirroring your rejection wounds, and then she's feeling rejected. So this is where we get to uncover these generational traumas, to alchemize them. I'm gonna explain this further and let you know, I get you because I am you. Like I was saying before, I want to share something and tell you a story. One of my personal wake-up calls, of many, this is one of them. There's a moment I will never forget, because I did suppress it until I did the somatic exercises, the ones I did a short little one with you earlier, like feeling it into your body. It's so simple. It can be very simple, and it can be longer and more deep. We're just doing that simple little one to get you understanding. One of those moments, though, I'm never going to forget, and my body will not forget. So I was trying to hold everything together in my system. I was trying to hold my, put on the mask, hold it all together. I was having a really hard time with my son. My son is now 18. So I have had a long amount of years of experience with him now. I think around this time he was maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. But I can see his little self and I was feeling overstimulated. I was exhausted. And no matter how many strategies I tried from all the books and all the things, different things that people are telling me to do, I'm trying it, I'm trying this, no matter what I tried, he would continue to push every boundary that I had. And so I lost my poo. I don't know if I can swear on here, if it'll block me or not. So, and I try not to swear too much in case little kids are around, but sometimes it comes out. But I remember that moment. It's like my whole body was fierce. It was just like angry. So I screamed at him, and I was choking it all down. I was like trying so hard not to do it, not to yell. But I'm like, this isn't working. So maybe yelling and getting it all out, maybe that'll freak him out to the point he's going to listen to me. So I lost it, and I screamed so loud, I lost my voice. And I started coughing. I was like coughing and coughing. My eyes were watering. My heart, my chest was tight. I could not breathe. And I walked away. My heart was just racing. And I could feel shame immediately, just pouring into my body. Even as I was yelling, I felt it, but I couldn't stop myself in that moment. And then I walked away, and I tried to come back, and then I looked at his face. I'm trying to recover, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And he looks at me. I look at his face, and the way he looked at me like, Mom, you just totally lost control. You are out of your mind. He looked at me like he didn't feel safe anymore. He looked at me like he did not respect me. And he actually literally said these words. He was like, how can I respect you when you don't respect me? Oh my goodness. When I tell you your kids mirror back exactly the healing you need, it's true, but that triggered me. Oh my goodness, that upset me so much that he would say that. How dare him say that? And it took the healing work on myself to realize he was totally right. He was totally right. And I felt in that moment like I had broken something. Something I could not take back. It crushed me. I felt like I'm losing his respect. I'm losing his trust. I broke that. And his words sank into my soul. How can I respect you when you don't respect me? And it wasn't until later when I was, doing the work on myself that I then knew. I didn't really knew in that exact moment, but I knew later that moment was God speaking to me through him. It was a wake-up call. It wasn't about him. It was about me. I was wounded. He was making me feel out of control and rejected because I had a core wound from my childhood. I told you one of my core wounds. There's many others I have uncovered. But that trigger was not healed. And therefore, I lost myself. I reacted and screamed and yelled. Then, afterwards, I couldn't sleep. Not for one night, not for 2 nights, not for 10 nights, for years. For years, I lost sleep. I didn't know I was losing sleep over that moment. I didn't know I was leaving sleep over that moment, plus a whole bunch of other moments. But what happens is it started to come into my body, that pain. My lower back started hurting. My womb started aching. I had tension in my breasts even. I had headaches that wouldn't go away because my body was holding the shame. My body was holding that. Now I want you to think about this. If you are holding any shame in your body, which you probably are, especially if you're here right now, I believe there's a reason. If you're holding any shame in your body, this shame holds an energetic frequency. We are all made of energy. We all have a frequency. Science proves this. It's really cool. You can look some of the stuff up about it. And words hold frequency. Memories hold frequency. This shame, this feeling holds a frequency. This is a low frequency. And when you hold this low frequency, it turns your nervous system into a dysregulated nervous system. And the thing is, your children can sense your nervous system, your energy, your energetic frequency. So if you're trying to do a family outing, if you're trying to get your chores done, if you're trying to help your kid with their homework, practical things, everyday life, living things, and you are doing it with a dysregulated nervous system because you're holding a low energetic frequency in your body from a wound that you don't know is there, it's unconscious, it's going to affect everything in your life. It's going to affect the way your kids respond to you. It's going to affect them listening. Do they follow directions, or they're not going to follow directions? Are they going to connect with you? Are they going to cooperate with you? Kids cooperate when they feel connected to you. They cannot feel connected to you if your nervous system is completely off. Did you know that your baby, when born, your baby's heartbeat starts matching your heartbeat when you put your little baby on your chest? And their breath starts matching your breath. Their nervous system starts matching your nervous system. Naturally, from birth. This happens in the womb as well, before baby's even born, but even for fathers. So if you're a mother or father and you're putting baby on your chest, this happens. Well, this happens when your children grow up as well, but they're starting to become attached to you in a different way than a baby is, and they're trying to decide what's more safe. Attaching to you, continuing to attach my nervous system to you, or unattaching. So they're going to reject you and unattach from you in an unhealthy way if they feel not safe around your nervous system. So that's when you're going to get a lot of whining. Why this, why that? Because kids, children don't, you're in that moment, in those type of moments, that's your child really saying, I don't trust you. And I know that's really hard to hear sometimes. It really was for me. This can be triggering, very triggering. So let me know in the comments if this is resonating with you, if you're understanding this. And Joanna, I know you said, but you're the parent. Shouldn't kids respect their parents? At least that's how I grew up. Yes. Right. They should. Or they get to. Right? So tap into your body. I want you to think, first of all, when I say the word should, you should do something. You should respect me. If someone does to say that to you, how does that feel in your body? Take a deep breath, close your eyes. You should respect me. How does that feel? Is there any tension? Does it feel like someone's trying to overpower you? Do you feel a loss of control? But what if, instead, tap back into your body and you shift it? Close your eyes, and I say these words instead. I want you to say, we get to respect each other. We get to respect each other here. How does that feel in your body? This is somatic. How does it feel? We get to respect each other. Does it feel more free? To me, it feels more freeing. It feels lighter. It feels more calm. It feels mutual. How does that feel? And Joanna, I know you said from earlier it felt hurtful before. When I say you should respect me. And when you say we get to respect each other, it definitely feels better, Joanna said. Thank you for sharing that. That's the whole point in that story, part of it. Part of the point in that story. It's that my son does get to respect me. I am the parent, yes. He gets to respect me. There's no should. It's his choice. He's a human. But he gets to, because I'm going to teach him that. How do I teach him that? By I get to be respectful to him. We get to be respectful together. There is no way that we can scream and scream at our kids and then tell them not to scream. There's no way that we can ask our children who are growing, who are learning, who are far less experienced than us. Their brains are not developed. Their prefrontal cortex, the front of their brain, where thinking is happening, it's not developed. So we, cannot expect us as adults who already have a full-grown brain, and we cannot control ourselves to stop yelling. We can't expect our kids to control themselves. They will learn it by modeling that behavior. What do you do instead of yelling? What could you do instead of yelling? How can you turn it, instead of a you respect me, into a we respect each other? And that is this process where our children then become connected, safe, and motivated to want to cooperate because they feel regulated. They feel that way. And I'm going to dive into this even more. Keep listening here. The real reason that you react, This is what I want you to know from the beginning of all of this. You're not reacting because you're a bad parent. Remember, you're reacting because your nervous system is overwhelmed. You're carrying old, unprocessed pain, and that triggers you in that moment. So when your child says something rude, when they melt down, when they ignore you, when they reject you, it touches that wound. It touches that belief that you that ended up with, a moment from your past. And most of us are parenting, unless we do this inner work that I'm teaching, from programming, from generations of, have you ever heard this? Okay, this is another somatic experience that we can do in about 30 seconds. I'm just briefly introducing you these as somatic experiences. Close your eyes, take a deep breath. Tap into your body. Have you ever heard of this? From your mother or father or grandparent or teacher. Be quiet. Be good. Do what I say. Don't cry or I'll give you something to cry about. You need to do this because I said so. How does that feel in your body? And then does it feel restricted or painful, or does it feel like there's even a little child in you, inside of you, that wants to rebel against it? That's how I felt. We get to shift it. We get to wake that part of ourselves up and go, oh, then do you end up doing that to your child? How do you think it creates them to feel? When your children are pushing up against you, I know it's stirring something deep in you. It's stirring that programming when you were told also, you do what I say. So it's stirring that in you, and then what happens is you turn it around and you do something for them. Do that same thing to them. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments. Let me know your questions. Let me know what you're experiencing. Let me know your triggers. So what happened, there's a good side, of it. Once you uncover the messy stuff. When I had that moment with my son, that I told you about, that I was yelling. And several other moments. So that was a big one for me. I then started working with mentors and guides. And this is what really shifted for me. I realized that was key. Being in an energetic frequency of somebody else, a different mentor, a different guide. But I did try therapy for many years. And this was not the kind of mentoring that worked for me. It was the kind of mentoring in therapy that I believe I needed in that moment. It was good for me to learn what I did in that moment, but it wasn't deep enough to get to the next layer. Because I tried the therapy for many years. I walked away in therapy sessions with maybe a few tips sometimes. Sometimes I'd go and I'd get to vent out my frustration. I'd get it off my chest. And that would feel a little bit better, like someone was listening. But then I would go back to life and the same thing would just keep happening over and over. With my child, with myself, with life, over and over. So have you ever felt that way in therapy, or, doing something that you were trying with your child? And I'd go back again to therapy. I'd vent out my frustrations. I'd feel maybe a little bit better. I'd possibly leave with another little tip. Oftentimes, though, no suggestions at all. And then I would go back into the cycle again. Stress, yelling, dealing, in quote unquote, because dealing, I don't think we're really dealing with it. I think these things are happening for us. Thinking of it as a different way of thinking, but I felt in that moment I was just dealing with defiant behaviors. My son telling me, no, I can't, I don't want to. Why? Arguing, but, getting mad, slamming the door. You know, that aching feeling of frustration that led me to exhaustion, and the cycle would repeat. And so I started looking things up, like, is there anything besides therapy? Because everyone keeps telling me therapy, but I can't keep doing another session of therapy and going back and doing the same thing. Therapy has its place, but I needed something different, and I needed something outside the box. I needed something outside the system, the conventional system. I needed an alternative process, the one that doctors do not use, the ones that big pharma does not want you to know about. Because it works, and you won't need their drugs. And, you know, these mentors, when I hired a mentor, they didn't just give me a few tips. They didn't just listen to me vent. In fact, when I was venting, sometimes it would feel better I'm venting for a little bit, but oftentimes I would be interrupted. And I would be immediately pulled into a shift that I needed. And the best mentors that got me the biggest results with helped me go into my body, into my intuition, into my soul, into my subconscious. And when I did that, what I found was shocking. I uncovered beliefs that I did not know were there. So they were subconscious. And there were particular beliefs that were pulling my energetic frequency down. They were disempowering me. They were keeping me stuck in patterns with my son and in other areas of my life too. They would create conflict. So these beliefs contributed to the creation of conflict. So take a big note right now. Write this down. Your beliefs can create conflict. We call these limiting beliefs. Unconscious limiting beliefs. And maybe you've heard of it before, but hopefully the way I'm describing it to you is helpful. The biggest thing is getting with a mentor that you resonate with, that you understand. And that's what I became. I became a mentor for parents. I became that mentor through my own experiences. And when we uncover these limiting beliefs by listening to our body and the energetic frequency of our body, what it's trying to tell us, this is what somatic healing is. What we're doing, some of these things that we've been doing today. I uncovered things like what I explained to you earlier, and that I have to yell to be heard. That's what I thought. My voice doesn't matter until it's loud. That's a limiting belief I uncovered. What about you? We can uncover some of your beliefs. Maybe you're uncovering some of your beliefs right now during this class. I'm not enough as I am. That was another belief. I am not lovable. That's what I thought. These beliefs, these were beliefs that my inner child that was wounded was holding. These beliefs were being held down from generations. They were coded into my nervous system. So what we get to do is uncode uncode your beliefs into new empowering beliefs. That's what I want to invite you to do. We can't do it in this masterclass, or this is an intro. We can't uncode all of these things. We can start. It's like we can start it. But if you stay tuned, I'm going to share an invitation with you on something you can do with me that can help immensely to go even deeper with this. But I hope that this class is so, so, so helpful for you, and it's a first layer. And if you want to go deeper, keep watching with me. Keep watching. So these are the beliefs that my inner child was holding, beliefs that were passed down, right? So it's coded. It literally is coded into your cells. And it was never about actually controlling my child's behavior. It never was about that. That comes naturally. But really, all of this, it's about healing yourself. Because once you begin to heal, do the healing work on yourself, once you do that, everything shifts. Everything shifted for me. So I was able to forgive myself doing what I now call the parenting breakthroughs. I was able to forgive myself. That took a lot. For the yelling, for the shame, for the moments I could not take back. My son just graduated high school, and I went and did another layer of healing around those things because, oh my goodness, that was hard when he graduated high school, and it all flooded back to me, and all the memories flooded back to me, and I'm like, it's done, it's over, it's holy cow, it just went just like that. His childhood is gone. I wish I could go back and do it again. But I was also very happy and excited that the last 10 years or so, I really tapped in, and especially in the last 5 years, tapped into this healing work that helped him a lot. So I want to explain to you how this helped him too. You know, when I was able to forgive myself, and then I was able to show up differently, not from guilt, not from perfectionism, but just from my truth, authenticity, self-compassion. These are high vibrational frequencies. And I started to look at my son as not somebody I need to fix, but as someone that I'm divinely connected to. That feels good. Imagine, close your eyes, take a deep breath, tap into your heart, tap into your body, and think about how you feel when I say your child, your daughter, your son, maybe if you have more than one, your children. Your children are not there to fix. Instead, think about this. You are divinely connected to your children. Your children chose you. Think about that. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And I want you to say to yourself, my child or children chose me. And I chose them. Close your eyes. Feel it in. Deep breath. This wasn't random. Feel it in. Feel it in when I say this. This was a soul contract. Breathe it in. How does it feel? And then open your eyes and share in the comments. How does that feel? Does it feel enlightening? Does it feel empowering? Can you get curious about it? You start getting curious about what your children are there to teach you and what you're there to teach them. Can parenting feel sacred? Can it become a path of healing? Not just for your child, but for you. So you know what happened when I did this? And I will look at the comments if you comment, and I'll go back and read them. I would really love to know if this resonates with anyone. I would love to know. But I started to heal, and then guess what happened? My son started to heal. He began to learn that mistakes do not make you unlovable. Holy cow. Remember when we talked about that earlier, about how you might be feeling unlovable if your child rejects you, if you make a mistake. Oh my goodness, so when you really tap into that, your mistakes do not make you unlovable. You are wanted. You are loved. You are enough. When you start to tap into this, your children learn, oh, my mistakes don't make me unlovable. My son started to take responsibility for things, not out of fear, but out of integrity. He began to apologize when he did something wrong. He began to reflect, to pause before he reacted. Do you want your kids to pause before they react? And what do you get to do? He also began to trust that my love was unconditional. And that even in the hardest moments, even when I messed up, I was still there, still choosing him. He saw that I could own my mistakes and I could still come back and love. And this changed everything. So yes, his ADHD symptoms and behavior was improving. But what did that look like? His confidence grew. He started succeeding in school where he was failing school before. He was in trouble at the principal's office. His desk was separated from the other kids. He could not control himself. He was impulsive. He was not doing well on anything in school. It was crazy hard. And I'd get those nasty emails from teachers that they didn't try to make it nasty. By the way, I used to be a kindergarten teacher before I started using this work, before I got certified in nutrition, before I got training in parenting, before I became a specialist in ADHD and mental health, before I tapped into my spiritual gifts, before I began mentoring parents, doing all this work. Before that, I was a kindergarten teacher, and I saw things in that light, and I realized we needed more than what the public school system had to offer our kids. And I understood writing those nasty emails because I never wrote a nasty email to a parent, like on purpose, but I had to share, this is what happened at school today, and if it was a not good thing, your child hits someone, they're failing school, whatever's happening, I had to let them know. And that is what I'm talking about, is our teachers telling us what happened, and it just hits home. It hits a wound for us. This is our child. That means, what does that mean about you? You get that bad email from the teacher? Oh, so I'm a failure at parenting because my child came from me. That's what it feels like, right? So instead of that, my son started becoming successful in school. And it was not because I was pressuring him. It was because he wanted to. He was changing his frequency. He was changing his identity. He was no longer feeling like the kid who fails school. His teachers started to say, oh, you have one of the best kids in the class. He's so respectful. He does his work. He's completing things. I trust him. I really trust your child. You know, he's one of the good ones. All of a sudden, that started happening. My son also started to do things around the house without me asking him to even. That's huge. He'd come home from school and he would clean the kitchen and he would go take the dogs out to go potty and run them. We have 2 dogs. One of my dogs is a border collie mixed with a golden retriever. She's called a golden collie. She needs to be run a lot. And we lived in a townhouse at that time. And so it was really important that he would take the dogs and run the dog by playing fetch and make her run and get her exercise. So he'd go and he would do that. And he'd water our plants and like things that specific requests that I had laid out for him that he wanted him to do every day that he knew those were his after school chores. That typically before I would have to yell, and I didn't have to, right? I ended up yelling to get him to do things, and it was not the parent I wanted to be. So instead, all of a sudden, he's doing these things on his own when he comes home from school without me asking. Without me even asking. He's just doing it. And I'm like, over the moon. Tristan, you did your chores. I didn't even ask you today. You know? And then guess what? That would create more time for us to do fun things, to make more memories together, which is what I wanted. I wanted to have some fun with my son. I wanted to go and just be a joyful, fun parent. So we would take the dogs. My other dog is a Cavapoo. She's a small Cavapoo. She's a mini poodle mixed with a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. We love dogs. We're dog lovers over here. And we'd take the dogs to the dog park and have so much fun. We'd have time to do that after school because we got stuff done instead of spending our entire night with a nightmare. We loved going to the dog park. We spent many years having so much fun having those times together at the dog park. I want you to know too, my son's dad and I are not together. He lives an hour away. He'd have to go back and forth between his dad and I. And that made it really difficult. His dad has a different way of living and breathing over there. So I was always the bad guy, if you feel that in your heartstrings, you know. But my son started realizing, oh, I'm not the bad guy. You know, he wanted to do things with me and be responsible and start doing things even though it was different at Dad's house. That's huge. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. You know, we'd have more time to go for walks together and go to the park next to our house. We had this little park by our house. And I moved about 3 years ago this summer. It'll be in the spring. So it's been 3 years as of this last spring that we had moved. And so before that, we were living in this this townhouse with a park right next to it. We loved to just walk over there. And then there was another little park next to that. It was like maybe 5 to 10 minute walk. We'd walk over there and, you know, just go and explore different little parks and things. And it was a lot more fun. And we just have fun together, making memories. And my son was able to be that empowered child. He was more confident. He was also less sick all the time. Because when your nervous system is constantly dysregulated, you get sick a lot. And he was able to eat healthier because he identified as a healthy being. You know, that happens. He was able to use nutrition kids who are super picky with eating, and they want to just snack on all the junk food on a constant basis. I mean, my son would used to, before we changed a lot of these, the way that his being was in this work I'm talking about. Before I did this work on myself to help him, he's sneaking candy. I'd find wrappers all over the house, under his bed, in the garbage, in the bathroom randomly, like just all over the place, like in his closet, just everywhere. Wrappers of candy and junk food and bags of chips and all this. And I'm like, what is going on? You know, why are you sneaking the candy and just constantly chowing down on this junk food? He had an addiction to it. His dad used to take him to McDonald's. I used to take him to McDonald's years and years and years ago. And I don't do that anymore because I just don't believe in that anymore. But I had to change that belief. So I used to take him to McDonald's. That was the fun place to be. His dad used to take him to the McDonald's. Well, it was programming that's the fun place to be. That's where we go get yummy food. That food is not food. It's Franken food is what I call it now. And Joanna, I see your comment. You said, oh my God, my daughter also does that, sneaking candy and junk food. Okay, so I'm speaking to you right now. and I'm probably speaking to many other parents too. It's just when you have ADHD symptoms also, your microbiome gets really crazy imbalanced. But it also stems from your nervous system, who you're showing up as, who your identity is. My son transformed this. I want you to know that this is like his programming of, that's who I am. It's what I do. He gets these cravings. He doesn't know how to control them. He'd go to McDonald's with his dad, and like I said, I took him there too, until I decided, and I had learned, because I got certified in integrative nutrition health coaching, went to one of the top schools for nutrition in the world. It is absolutely amazing. It's called the Institute of Integrative Nutrition. I learned from one of the best leaders, Joshua Rosenhall, founder of the school, and he talked to us about this stuff. And we had relearned how that food is not food. It's Franken food. The food at McDonald's is just full of so many chemicals. There is no nutrition in it. There's I don't remember how many. It was 50 or something like that ingredients in the chicken of the chicken sandwich, or it used to be in Chick-fil-A, in one of the Chick-fil-A sandwiches. It's why isn't the ingredient just chicken in the chicken? Why is there 50 ingredients in the chicken? It's chemicals. It's nasty. Chick-fil-A, if you're going there, you might want to rethink it. Because, but like I said, I'm not judging you, because I was that parent. I was I'm taking my son to McDonald's to go to the play area there. This is fun. I want to do something fun with my son. But I realized I was actually making him more sick. I was helping him programming him to being a different, I was programming him to think McDonald's was food, was real food, was nutrition, was fun, was healthy. So I had to reprogram his brain. I had to reprogram my own brain first. So eventually we stopped going. And this helped with the candy as well. This helped with the junk food that he was eating at home. When we looked at McDonald's, every time, I told him, Mommy didn't realize McDonald's was not healthy. I'm sorry. I went and did these classes. I taught him the truth. I taught him that we really should not be eating there. I taught him why. And this isn't a nutrition class necessarily, but we do tap into it because it is related. So we pass McDonald's, and instead, after telling him, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, love me anyway, we can't go there. We're not going to go there. We're going to choose not to go there. So every time we'd pass McDonald's, we'd go, yuck. Yuck. Every time. Instead of, ooh, look, McDonald's, yay, I want to go there. Instead it was yuck. We'd program it into that is, and then we talk about why. It's not healthy for us. And how actually he tapped into his own intuition, and he noticed every time he went there that he would have stomach problems, and he'd be in the bathroom for long periods of time. And there were times that he would call me and say, Mom, I need you. And he's going to the bathroom. He's, little. He was little. And this is one of the times I had realized how much it was affecting his body, that he would be having diarrhea and he'd have such bad stomach cramps and stomach aches. He'd be crying on the toilet and he'd be calling me, and I'd, this is what you do when you're a mom. You go into the bathroom while they're having their diarrhea and you hold their head up. And he'd get hot and he'd be crying. It was like a nightmare for him. It was not fun. So we would tap into that, and I would talk to him about that and how he had this belief, that we had this belief in our system that McDonald's was good, but we had to reprogram that to it actually makes us sick. And it would make his ADHD worse. It would make his behavior worse. It would make him, he was sick all the time. And it wasn't just McDonald's, it was his way of being. It was a nervous system regulation. It was the way we were eating. It was all of it. So all of a sudden, moving forward from there, we began the healing work. And every time that he would go, we would pass the McDonald's. He then, on his own, would start to say, yuck. And so, mind you, his dad and I are not together, remember, and his dad wanted to take him to McDonald's every time he would come up. He'd drive up for an hour to come and visit him on Wednesdays. That was his day back then. That he wanted to come see him, and he would go pick him up. And what would they usually do back then? They'd go to McDonald's for dinner and to play. And I could not get through to his dad to tell him to stop taking him there. I tried all the things. I even went to the doctor and got the doctor to write a letter because I kept telling the doctor he's getting sick every time he goes to McDonald's, and my son's dad will not stop taking him there. So what do? I need a letter of some kind. I tried to control it. I gave his dad the letter, you need to stop taking him there. Doctor's orders, because he wouldn't listen to me. Thankfully, I had a doctor that did that. But did that even work? No. What actually worked is my son reprogramming his belief. And so he started believing, I don't want to go to McDonald's. It's icky there. It's not where I want to go. And he told his dad himself when he was around 10 years old. These were some of the biggest shifts, is when he was around that 10. He started telling his dad himself, I don't want to go there. I don't want to eat there. It makes me not feel good. Let's go somewhere else. And he was actually scared to tell his dad that because he wanted to make his dad happy. So I got to talk to him about how to advocate for himself and his feelings, and to know his dad will love him even if he doesn't want to go to McDonald's. Does this resonate with anyone? Let me know in the comments. So when we work on our own inner healing, when we reprogram our own mind, when we become the highest version of ourself, we pass it on to our kids. And my son's highest self did not want to go to McDonald's, okay? My son's highest self also could look at a brand new batch of cookies that I would make when I was having my, still, I love cookies, one of my favorite treats. I have now converted to eating cookies about 90, I don't know, I'll say 98% of the time. I make the healthy version of cookies. And sometimes I just make the old-fashioned, non-healthy cookies. 2% of the time. But most of the time, I love making cookies. I believe we can all have cookies, but what if we use the organic ingredients or gluten-free flours and things like that? Organic cacao chocolate chips instead of, sweet chocolate chips. We can make healthy cookies. So anyway, when I would make the non-healthy cookies, my son would pass them up. And I thought, there is no way my child is passing these cookies up. How is this happening? And he taught me something. He was actually in more self-control than I was. And so then I would start making the protein cookies and the organic cookies more often, and realized that my son actually enjoyed those more, because he and his identity and his being and his higher self wanted to make the healthy choice, because he wanted to feel good. He did not want the after effects of going to the toilet, for hours. Like, it was terrible. He did not want those effects. And he didn't know how to name these things, but his behavior was very off when he would eat bad. And he didn't know how to name it, but to him it was feelings that I would help him to uncover, which was like, I just don't feel well. And he was really exhausted. He'd have up and down mood swings from it. He'd have more meltdowns. So food is definitely connected to mood. But what do we need before that? We need an identity shift. We need to be a higher version of ourselves. We need the highest version of ourselves to come through. That's what somatic healing does. That's what somatic work does. And so I hope I'm starting to help you understand it. So, now I guess I never really did explain, an introduction of myself really for people who don't know me. So I will share with you. I am on a soul mission to help parents like you, if you're here for that, to reclaim peace, to reclaim connection with your highest version of you, your purpose. Remember who you are, your identity, your highest self, underneath all of this chaos that you're going through. And to not just fix your child's behavior, but to help them do the same thing, being in their highest self. This can help ADHD, this can help behaviors, this can help all of it, but it is in a deeper level. This is what I help parents with. Some of my certifications are, I'm a certified integrative nutrition health coach, licensed teacher. I own Holistic Parenting Solutions. I developed that in 2019. I have had thousands and thousands and thousands of training in parenting, ADHD, mental health, trauma work, just so much. I'm also trained as a Reiki practitioner. I grew up with all this stuff. I've had energetic healing and spiritual gifts since I was 3 years old. And it's in my blood. My parents own a healing center. My mom's a Reiki master. And I grew up with all of this. But now I've been able to hone into it in a deeper level. My son woke me up as a mom when I had him at 19 years old and realized I have a lot of shit to figure out. So I went through my own healing processes. I've gotten tons of certifications, but I think the best thing is my experience with my son, and then my experience with my clients. Once I developed Holistic Parenting Solutions, and that was born. Okay. Turn my fan on. Okay. Sometimes when I talk a lot, I start to lose my voice. But I now help parents to not just manage behavior, but heal the nervous system. Restore your intuition, and rebuild that soul bond with your child. And I think why parenting feels so hard for you, like why things, like I'm here to help you uncover these things. And it's because you're trying to override programming that we were just talking about with willpower. So if your child, is, let me know if this resonates, if your child, you're trying to give them like a new smoothie, for example, and it's a nutritional smoothie, you're trying to help them, If they don't want it, there's no amount of willpower that's going to help. It has to be in their programming. So like my son would wake up, we would do I want to give you a different example actually. So my son used to hate taking vitamins, and he would even have to, I would even give him garlic to chew up, like actual real cloves of garlic to chew up. If you can imagine your child doing that, if you're thinking, no way, I didn't think there was any way, like just no way my child's gonna chew up garlic. He did. He was able to chew up the garlic, take the vitamins, eat the vegetables, do the things that he didn't really want to do. But he did it because it became in his identity, his programming. This is who I am. I'm doing this even though I don't really like the taste of this. I'm doing it because I want to be the best version of me. And to children, that really means, I want to grow up big and strong. I want to feel like a superhero. It could mean if they're little, they might not say it in those words unless you are helping them understand what those words mean. But that's what it means. They want to feel good with their friends. They want to go play outside and feel good playing outside. All of that stuff. So you can't mindset your way out of a nervous system that is in survival mode or programmed to believe a certain way. You can't do that. The willpower. When your child triggers something in your body, you feel this way, just like you're triggering your child to feel this way. When you're giving them something, having them do something that they don't want to do, that's not in their programming yet, they're going to end up in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. It even can come down to food, because food is something that your child can control. You can't control a lot with kids. Kids can't control a lot in their lives. Kids cannot control a lot in their lives. They're just out of control. People are telling them what to do all the time. But what can they control? They can control their food, what they eat. You cannot make a kid eat. And so even when it comes down to that, they're either going to fight you, they're going to shut down, flight, they're going to freeze, or they're going to fawn. And we're not going to go into that right now. We're going to go into that more in another layer, in another step, in another experience. I want you to just think about what you actually need. You don't need another quick tip, right? You don't need just a quick little training. We need to embody what we're talking about. We need to feel safe. We get to feel safe. You get to feel safe. Your child gets to feel safe. Tap into that. Take a deep breath. We get to feel safe. Feel that in. How does it feel? We get to feel safe. How does it feel when I say we get to feel seen? You get to feel seen and your child gets to feel seen. How does it feel to bring your unconscious beliefs into the light so that they can stop hijacking your reactions? How does it feel to know that you get to heal your nervous system so that you can lead your children from peace, not from pressure? You get to remember that your child is not here to punish you. You're not here to punish them. You're here to grow together. They're here to grow with you. Your children are here to awaken you. How does that feel? Your children are mirroring back all the parts of you that is ready to be reclaimed, ready to be healed. So that's what I want to invite you to do next. So I have an invitation, and I want you to stick with me for a minute if you want to go deeper with this. And if you've loved this so far, let me know what you've thought of it so far. What's landed for you? What have you uncovered today? And then I'm going to invite you to something. So just think about it. Put it in the comments, if you wouldn't mind, and share. What has uncovered for you today? Are you starting to think about your wounds that you have in your heart that you need to, and you get to work on so you're not triggered, your reactions, where things might be coming from? What has been uncovered for you? Have you started to learn how the somatic work in your body starts to feel? When you tap into your feeling, when you tap into your body, you can feel where it's coming from. What you felt today, it was just a little spark, hopefully a breath of truth. The truth, authenticity, your real self, a reminder that healing is possible. Deep, full healing in a way that finally makes sense. Hopefully this is filling in the gaps for you. And if your heart softened a little bit today, if you felt seen a little bit today, like you haven't in a long time, if you, maybe you're holding back tears, or maybe you had a little bit of tears, maybe it finally landed for you. I want you to open up your heart space for an invitation. I want to invite you to something sacred, something that it's not just watched, it is felt. It's an experience. Hopefully something your soul has been waiting for. So I have something called the Parenting Breakthrough Experience. This is a 4-hour experience. It's not just a class, but it's an experience. It's a turning point. It's soul-led. It's somatic, like we've been talking about. It's backed by science, science-backed healing event. And it's designed for parents who want to go deeper with this work. You're emotionally invested into your progress. You are spiritually called to raise a child with more intention. You are done with those cycles of yelling. You are done with the guilt. You are done with the emotional pain. In this event, we're going to do something called the 4 S's of transformation. Okay, so number 1, I'll tell you what the 4 S's are. I'll read your comment first. Joanna says, I've loved this session. 2 items really resonated with me. Our kids are connected to our nervous system, and you are divinely connected to your children. I love that, Joanna. Thank you so much for sharing. I absolutely love that. Oh my goodness. And if anything else comes up, you feel free to comment. So in this experience we're having, please write this down. On June 25th, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. We're going to have an experience that we're going to go way deeper into the somatic work so that you can finally Stop the yelling. Finally get to the bottom of your core wounds. Tap into your body. Bring your unconscious conscious. Work on those limiting beliefs so that you can heal yourself in order to help your kids heal. Specifically, the 4 S's of transformation we're going to go into. We're not going to just talk about the healing. Number 1, the first S is somatic. So just like the examples I gave you today, but it's a lot deeper, we're going to go into the body. That's what somatic is. This is where the old stories live. This is where true release is going to happen. You'll learn how our nervous system responds in fight, flight, freeze, and fawn when your child melts down. So we're going to go into your patterns. You'll see how your body's autonomic nervous system, your survival response, it's shaping your reactions, your voice, what you say, your parenting patterns, all of that. So like if you're yelling, you're going into fight. If you walk away, you're shutting down, you're hiding on your phone, scrolling. This might be flight or freeze. If you find yourself over apologizing to your child or over accommodating with your child or people pleasing with your child, that's fawn. And this goes really, really deep in understanding it in our body. So that's just an example. And when you understand it into your body, it's so profound. I did this work myself. I just had an event, went through an event. I've been going through for years and years and years these type of events, and I just did another one because I'm always uncovering my own level of healing, where I went through it myself with a mentor of mine. And so that's number 1. All of these come from unprocessed pain, not bad parenting. So number 2, the second of the 4 S's is spiritual. This is in our experience, this work reconnects you to God, to your higher self, to your creator, whatever you name God. I name God, God. And you might say creator, spirit. And this reconnects you to your higher well-being, your higher self, and to the sacred assignment that you have of parenting your child. That's what I believe. I believe this is a sacred assignment. Totally. So you're going to be doing this work with me spiritually in the experience. So you'll finally feel spiritually aligned in your parenting. Not just surviving, but like walking in your divine purpose. And what is that going to do for your kids? Help them do the same. The third S of the S's of transformation, the third S is subconscious that we're going to be doing. So underneath the yelling, underneath the reactivity, underneath the pain are, remember what we talked about, your unconscious beliefs that you did not know were there. You're going to uncover those. Remember how I had discovered, and maybe you discovered some. If anyone would be willing to put it in the comments, what did you discover are some of your unconscious beliefs? You're going to uncover even more. Did you uncover anything today? And if you did not yet, you will. And maybe there's something that you uncovered. So like when I was telling you my story earlier, how I uncovered my rejection wound and how I felt like I was not wanted and I was not loved. I am not enough. I'm failing. I don't have control. I have to have control to feel safe. Those are my unconscious beliefs that I've uncovered that were hijacking my nervous system. So you're going to be able to stop that so that you don't snap or shut down or spiral. Even though you know better, obviously you're an empowered parent. It's just hard when your nervous system is hijacking you. So in the experience, we bring those beliefs into the light. You can finally change how you feel. not just how you think. And then when you shift what you believe about yourself, you shift everything about how you parent. And then your child will do the same in their system. And the fourth S of the 4 S's of transformation that we will be working through is the science. So it's more than intuition. Intuition to me, though, is science. It's bringing science, it's bridging science with spirituality. It's bridging it all together. It's polyvagal theory. It's trauma research. It's nervous system regulation. So you're going to learn how your nervous system gets stuck in survival and how to bring it back into connection and safety again. And you'll walk away understanding why you're, what is exactly behind these patterns, scientifically speaking. And so I'm going to guide you through a soulful, body-based experience. We're going to be uncovering all of these through those 4 S's that we just talked about. So this is a space where healing happens at the root. It's where you come home to your body. It's when you come home to your truth, and everything changes. Because remember that first thing I said, write this down. Your beliefs create your conflicts. Your conflicts with your kids have a lot to do with your beliefs. So you'll be able to especially stop reacting to the pain, start responding from purpose, uncover why you feel stuck, get unstuck in your conflict with your children. Bring those triggers you're having. You can ask me questions. We can do Q&A. Right now is the chance to ask questions right now if you have any. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a very special discounted price right now for this experience. I'm going to drop the link in the comments for this class, Sacred Calm. Okay? You're going to be invited to my parenting breakthrough experience. Here are the details. Let's see. I'm going to drop it in the comments here. It's only $97. That's it. Trust me, this price, I'm going to say, I can't even put a price on it, at least over $500 that it is worth. And it will be going up, this price. But this is a special price for parents that are in Sacred Calm right now. And it will be going up without warning. So get it now if you want this. So I'm dropping it in the comments here. So for any parents today, this is a today only. If you sign up for the $97 parenting breakthrough experience, you're also going to get, this is today, June 16th, okay? You're going to get a bonus as well, just for showing up today. Whether you're live, thank you for being live. If you watched the replay promptly today, you get a special breakthrough one-on-one private session with me also. And so if you want that bonus, all you got to do is send me a DM. Tell me you signed up for the parenting breakthrough experience and you would like to schedule your session, your breakthrough session. This expires after today. You have to sign up. You don't have to do your session today, obviously, but you have to sign up today for your session. Now, if you have questions, now is a really good time to ask. This is the things I want to leave you with. I am super excited for your transformation. I know that sometimes it's scary to make a change. Sometimes we're not ready for the changes. And sometimes we are ready. We just don't know what we don't know. I'm here to hold your hand. I'm here to walk through this with you, with love. You know, we don't need to parent out of pain, out of shame, out of guilt anymore. We don't need to have these issues with our kids anymore. Our kids get to grow up as leaders. They get to grow up spiritually intelligent, emotionally intelligent beings. And it starts with us. We are the leaders. So I just dropped the link for the Parenting Breakthrough Experience in the comments. And let me see here. This, I'm just going to click on it. So it's the Soul Aligned Parenting Breakthrough Experience. We're going to heal the parent to transform the child. That's what I have on my graphic. We're going to heal your triggers, unlock the peace you crave. This is for conscious parents of sensitive kids, strong-willed kids, ADHD kids, any of the things we've been talking about. This is an interactive, deep inner healing experience, just like we were doing today, but on another level. When you heal yourself, you can transform the relationship with your child. Behaviors improve and your own triggers neutralize. So hopefully this class today has been at least one layer. If you have questions, you can DM me. If you have questions, you can put it in the comments. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know if this resonated with you. Even if you want to, just leave me some comments of, like testimonies of what you got out of this today. I would really appreciate it. Your feedback, because this is brand new. I want to be completely honest. This is a brand new experience. So the parenting breakthroughs I have been doing in one-on-one sessions over the last year. I've been working with parents and kids for over 20 years. And for the last 5 years, I've been running the ADHD Parenting Success System. This is my 12-week program, which is all about reducing ADHD symptoms naturally. I've been doing that for 5 years. That program, you're welcome to, if you want information on that, put ADHD program in the comments. That program has been run for 5 years. It's been super successful. Parents have been loving it. And then in the last year, I've been incorporating breakthrough sessions with parents and tapping into their purpose and healing work and programming and unconscious limiting beliefs. And they've been telling me how amazing they've loved these one-on-one private sessions, these breakthrough sessions. And I wanted to, as I was praying and meditating, I wanted to unlock something deeper. And I wanted to help more parents at the same time. And when I went through an event with Melissa May Dillon, who I was in her amazing event, and I was in Dr. Nima's event, when I was in these events recently, it then came to me, this event that I wanted to create for you. So this is my beta test event. It's my parenting breakthrough sessions that I do one-on-one, but deeper with more people as a group. So we can also tap into each other's frequencies. We can see that we're not alone. You can see that we are all here together as one, doing this work together. And so this is my beta test. That's why it's such a low price at only $97. And I want you guys to come in and give me your feedback and get your transformations and really be the founders of this new experience. I just know it's going to help so many parents. So I'm taking everything I learned in the last 18 years raising my son, all my certifications, all my experience, all the work with clients in the last 5 years, and the parenting breakthrough experience one-on-one sessions I've been doing in the last year, and I'm putting them into this event, into helping you. So, all right. I hope this was helpful. Let me see. Are there any questions before this ends? Thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping your kids. Thank you for being leaders, leaving a legacy behind for your kids. Thank you for shining your light so that your kids can shine theirs. All right, so I am signing off, but if you do end up with questions, I will go back and watch them in the comments, and just be watching because I feel a bonus coming. So remember, sign up for your parenting breakthrough session, June 25th, 2 p.m. Central Time. And if you sign up today, you're going to get a one-on-one bonus session. And I feel more coming. I just feel it. I don't know what it is yet, but I feel it. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you hopefully inside of the Parenting Breakthrough experience. Bye for now.